Oh,
There
we're
we
good.
go. Excellent. Welcome into stream number 2 here on the West
Episode
Coast
number
Draft
two.
Pod. Episode number 2. That's right. Of the West Coast Draft Podcast. As always, my name is Beau Gleason, joined once again by Robert Jacob Jokinen. How are you doing, my friend?
Doing great. Got some news to report. I was at Seahawks practice this morning and afternoon. So before we get into our next division, I'll share a little bit of the stuff, the sights and the sounds that I saw.
Mm-hmm. I want to hear a
So
breakdown.
yeah, I'll give a little breakdown. Well, here's what was funny is I went with my twin brother and we only
Mm-hmm.
had one ticket, but we both were able to go. This little kid came up to us when we were about to try and, I came up with several elaborate ruses to get us in. I have
Mm-hmm.
experience in sneaking into sporting events before, so I've been there, done that. This little
Mm-hmm.
kid comes up to me and my brother as we're about to go to the check-in line, as you might remember from last year,
I do remember.
and he's like, "Are you guys feeling blessed today?" And then he gave us two wristbands, so we didn't even have to check in. We just walked right in. It was easy,
Oh,
easy.
there you go. That's smart, man.
Beautiful day at the VMAC, and there was a nice breeze too, so it wasn't hot like
Okay.
last year.
Last year was brutal.
Um,
I remember
it
last year.
was unfortunately unlike last year. There was no space. We were able
Oh,
to
jeez.
set up. We were able to set up. Uh, but I miss how empty it was last year. But I'd
Yeah,
I'd
last
take
year's
a full
nice.
practice. I'll take a full practice if that means we're good.
Was the
My
view better this year than it was last year?
the what was the what?
The view, could you see more? Because I mean, obviously, with NFL training camp rules, like they have it on the other field, so I get that. But
Yeah,
last year, I feel like
they
couldn't really
actually
see anything.
they did team drills on the closer field. They did 7-on-7. They
Really?
did blitz period, and they did team period, on the close field, which was great. And they did it going in both directions too. So, they
That's
did
fun.
blitz period in one
That's
direction.
fun.
They did full team, 12 plays the other direction. So it was great. It was actually UW day, or no, it was a college day. So there was
Okay.
people from UW and Wazoo. No Harry the Husky or Dubs. Huge
Oh, that's a
disappointment.
bummer.
He just
Wait, that's
disappeared, by the way.
no, I know I did. Don't worry. I have a moth that died, or I shouldn't say died. Just absolutely killed that little bug right
Oh,
on my
nice.
desk. So I'm popping up to grab a tissue to wipe its carcass out.
Oh, very nice.
Because who likes that? Who likes that? So um
Oh, I did it too. Whoops.
all right, I'm back. I'm
I'm
back now.
back.
So no more bug corpse on my desk. And yeah, it turns out Arizona in summer is very buggy. Um
Really?
very buggy. So yeah, there's about
One thing I love about Washington, not buggy at all compared to
not
anywhere I've
very
been in my
buggy.
life.
Yeah.
Not buggy at all. Um,
So
so my biggest winner, I don't know if it's winner of the day, biggest standout for me
mhm,
today was DK. He looks
mhm.
incredible right now. And he had this amazing corner of the end zone catch over Tariq or over Reek. Gino just put it in there perfectly, went right over the fingertips of Reek Woolen, and it was beautiful. The crowd went crazy, and he had like two or three of those. So
Okay. All right. Well,
DK
so
looked
Pro Bowl
DK
receiver.
looked really good.
Pro Bowl receiver
My
looking like a Pro Bowl receiver. Breaking news.
still he still looked really good, even though he is a Pro Bowl receiver. Other standout was one of my personal favorites, Jake Bobo.
Jake Bobo.
He
That's
had
right.
a
You told me about
huge
this one.
He had an amazing sideline catch on Y cross because, of
Hmm.
course, in the week one preseason game, of course, Jake Bobo had like a 30-yard gain on Y cross. There's
Hmm.
something about Bobo that he just feasts on Y cross. But Matt Landers, the other guy battling for that last receiver spot, he looks gigantic. He looks like
Hmm.
the offensive version of Tariq Woolen when they're walking next to each other. He's huge.
Nice.
He's huge. So I'm so excited to see who wins that receiver five battle. I think we're going to be carrying five or six. So you got DK, Tyler, Jason. Jason looked as advertised, incredibly quick, incredibly quick. Derek Young. So I don't know if we're taking five or six because D Eskridge
Hmm.
is going to start off, and he already got hurt on the kickoff. Of
Oh
course he did.
gosh, that's never
Um,
ideal.
yeah, so I think it's time to move on from D Eskridge and take Vol Flanders and Bobo, if you ask me. This is
Hmm.
year three for D, and he hasn't, we're lacking that kind of jet sweep guy, especially now that Cade Johnson like got carted off the field. we really don't have that. But the one thing about Bobo is he fits perfectly in that McVay Waldron kind of wide receiver ideal of, can play in those condensed formations and block like a tight end, but still very athletic as receiver. So I think he's making the team. I think he will.
Very nice.
A lot of people weren't practicing. Bobby wasn't practicing. Cam Young's been out. Olu was out. Spoon's out. It's just like, oh my gosh. But yeah, I think DK was my highlight. Pete Carroll was like running 40s like the entire practice. He's surprised ever.
Amazing.
Jason Myers didn't miss a kick. He made it from 55. Yeah, that's about it. Oh yeah. So it was college day. Saw the Apple Cup. No Harry the Husky, no Dubs, but they did have a marching band. So yeah, that's my report. My report live from Seahawks practice.
Was the Coug out though? Whatever.
No
they called
Butch either. No Butch.
Okay, I didn't know what they called him. So
I was
that's
disappointed. I was like the only person wearing a Husky jersey. I wore my Husky jersey. I was disappointed I didn't see any Cougar Gold cheeseheads. I wish I could have seen one of those because that's good shade for a sunny day like that.
Yeah.
So that is my report from Seahawks training camp. I highly recommend to anyone go to a training camp game of your team. It's really fun.
Yeah.
And it's cheap. It's cheap.
Yeah. At least Seahawks is cheap. No, Cardinals is free. Totally free. So not that you're doing much of a show at that, but
isn't theirs indoors though?
Yeah, they have theirs at in the stadium.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. The reason why I think they do have tickets is because the space is really limited at that hill on the VMAC. I slipped on our blanket walking up the hill, and these like two really nice black ladies behind me were laughing at me. It's like, "Ooh, child, are you okay?" It was very funny. It was awesome.
Excellent.
Well, awesome.
I'm glad you're okay. I'm glad they were looking out for you.
I was on the steep part of the hill. It was pretty scary, man. All right, let's get to the wheel. Let's
okay. Wait, before we do, who are the Seahawks playing in week 2 of the preseason?
Cowboys.
Okay, a little preview of a game that's coming up later the year. Then, granted, neither team will probably be playing starters, so preview
Drew Lock season.
Preview in the way that we will see how the jerseys look next to each other, I suppose. But yes. Like you said, the second wheel spin. We did the NFC West. Just a quick reminder to anyone just joining us now. NFC West, the 49ers 13-4, Seahawks 10-7, Rams 6-11, and Cardinals 2-15.
How do we feel about the Cardinals after they beat the Broncos who were playing their starters? Their backups beat the starters.
When the Broncos starters were in, it was 10-0 Broncos. It became
Russ didn't look good.
He did not. No, don't get me wrong. He didn't. And the Broncos offensive line looks awful. The Broncos would be bad.
That's surprising because that's not like they've had plenty of invest. They signed McGlinchey. They got one of my favorites
Powers
from back in the day. They have Quinn Miners still.
Quinn Miners, yeah.
And they have Garrett Bowles too. That's that's like 4 out of 5 that like on paper should be solid. They look bad.
They did.
That was a crazy ending too. That 2-point play.
It was.
That was awesome.
It was. Hey, it's preseason. You gotta take the. Jonathan Gannon probably won't see a lot of wins in year 1. So
take what you get. No, they look good. The jerseys looked better than I thought they would too.
I still think they would look better. Honestly, just put white pants on. Put the red jersey with the white pants. Don't do the unitard look. I think it would. Their uniforms.
I just don't like the font. I don't like the font.
I think the new helmets where it's like it's kind of like shiny and chrome
and glossy.
They look great. I think it's good.
They look great,
especially under the lights.
I don't like the material is better, but I don't like the font of the Arizona.
Yeah, that's fair.
But the helmet looks great because that was a very mid helmet of like the boring white. Looks fantastic. They did a good job with the logo.
Yeah, and I feel like that kind of got undersold in the
it did. I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah, it looks fantastic.
It looks great.
So, that'll be fun. Cardinals.
Oh, and one other thing. How do we feel about our Niners prediction after seeing Trey Lance in the preseason?
Brock Purdy's gonna be a starter, so it doesn't matter. We're good.
Give us your recap on Bengals preseason game 1.
Oh yeah. they played their fourth stringers against the Packers first stringers. I don't know. It's about what I expected, honestly.
Who won?
We had
I didn't see.
No, the Packers won 30. I think it was 38-19, if I remember. It was either 36-19, 38-19. It was not close. It actually was close until the fourth quarter, and then Bengals fourth stringers looked like fourth stringers. Couple winners. The one Bengals starter that played in the game, Daxton Hill, looked great. Had a couple nice PBUs, including one where he came from pretty much 3/4 of the way, closed with the ball in the air, had a big batted ball, looked fantastic, looked awesome. And at being the only starter that played, good rep to have. Let's see. Some other winners. Pass rush looked good. Let me think. Who else? The offense did not look good. Other than Andre Yoshevitz, continues to look freaking awesome. Princeton wide receiver, former heptathlon champion, whichever one is 7. Basically,
that's a good slot receiver right there. That's a good slot receiver.
I'm actually kind of excited for him, man. He's a 6th-round pick, and he's been lighting it up. So
and he's smart too. That's a white slot guy. Receiver right there.
Yeah. He's actually Hawaiian. So
god damn it.
Sorry.
John Arcero flashbacks.
John Arcero, yeah, very apt. Very apt. Trying to think who else looked good. Who didn't look good, actually. Jackson Carman, cut that dude. He's freaking terrible.
Really?
Basically the whole backup line looked awful. Unfortunately, Jackson Kirkland as well. They just all looked terrible. And granted, in the first half, the Packers were playing their starters. So, starting defense line versus second and third stringers on the offensive line, it's usually not going to end well. But it was unfortunate. Unfortunately, Jake Browning looked like he was going to die on every other snap.
His shoulder's been shot since 2016. He can't throw in the NFL.
No, but he might be the backup this year. He looked better than. Go ahead.
Oh no, you can finish that thought.
I was going to say between the two QBs, Jake Browning and Trevor Siemian currently battling for QB2. I'd say Jake probably won the first preseason game in that
Jake Browning can hold a clipboard. He can hold a clipboard.
Exactly. Oh wait, I forgot. The number one biggest winner of Friday night was Joe Burrow throwing before the game, going through pregame warmups without wearing a leg sleeve, and at practice today. Also was watching on the side without a leg sleeve on. Big time winner there. Everyone, Bengals Nation is happy. There's still 3 weeks, I believe, 3 weeks from today. Let me check that. Let me check a calendar. 1, 2, 3. No, 4 weeks from today. 4 weeks from today is week 1. The fact that he's already able to take the sleeve off and walk around and do throwing drills.
4 weeks from today, really?
Good. It's 4 weeks from today is week 1. Yep.
I think it's like less than. I guess it's 2 weeks.
I got the calendar in front of me
of college football.
1, 2, 3.
I was thinking college football.
Yep. 4 weeks from today when we're recording. Yeah. Today's Sunday. So, this time in 28 days, we will be having a recap.
We got some time then. I was feeling a little bit that end of summer sadness.
Yeah. Oh, it's all. We still got time, my friend. Shoot, we're not even halfway through August, man. We got time.
I was about to say, though, that we have not talked since the Seahawks preseason game as well. So I think I can give a little recap of that.
Yes. I did watch that one, too. So go ahead. I'll see if I have anything else to add.
I watched it all. I didn't watch it all live. I was a little delayed, and I had to watch the first quarter back again. And, a lot of the Seahawks fans are really hyped up about it, but I'm actually the opposite. Because
the defense didn't look good.
That first half, that defense looked bad. It was the same problems as last year with run fits. We were getting carved up on an offense that looked like it was being run by the Jeff Fisher Rams. It looked old. Man, I'm tempted to take Ty Chandler tomorrow with my 3rd-round pick.
Man, maybe.
There's too much hype. There's too much hype there. I'm not going to touch him.
We'll see, man.
Speaking of that, though, I'm not going to be able to get AR. I think that
he didn't look good. I don't know, man. He did not look good, and we'll see how many people think highly of the quarterbacks. Because I don't know. I was kind of looking at the just so everyone knows. Talking Dynasty League now. seeing if Anthony Richardson's gonna last till pick 9 in
We're
10 team
colluding a little
dynasty.
bit. We're doing
Colluding
a little bit.
Hey, it's called. Hey, that's
this
what
is how
NBA trades are.
this is how general managers work.
Exactly.
And you tell them who you want to pick, and that's I was telling someone that it's like, why are you telling me that you want him? It's like, this is how it works, dog. We're being real. We're being real team managers.
So
Gibbs, Bijan won, by the way.
Yes, Bijan will be the first overall
Gibbs
pick.
is number 2. Nate is trying to trade up with me for my 2nd overall. It's like, why the hell would I do that? And he doesn't want to tell me who he wants to take.
It's dumb. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
That's because he knows he wants Gibbs, but he knows you'll take him. So it's like
the drop off from 2 to 3 this draft is bad.
I was shocked I was able to get up to 1, honestly. I did. Other than Amon-Ra St. Brown, I felt like that was
next year's first.
Yeah, next year's first and this year's third, plus St. Brown and Kirk Cousins, who is
my
backup anyways.
I can't believe that's what you gave up. Yeah, I'd sent him a joke offer of a 25 or 2024 third. I'm surprised he didn't accept that if he accepted that.
Okay, I was looking at his quarterbacks though. In hindsight, Kirk Cousins is gonna be his quarterback this season, honestly. So
see, right now my strategy, and I'll tell it to you because you probably know it anyways. It's gonna be Gibbs at 2, and I'm probably gonna try to I'm just gonna wait for unless AR starts falling to 9, which I will pull the trigger with you. I'm just gonna take whatever quarterback out of the 3 are left. I think 1 will be there at 12, I think. And then third round is just whoever's best.
Yeah, I agree. I got 4. If I don't make that trade with you, I got 4 picks in the first 2 rounds. So I made that trade and I still have draft assets. So it's kind of crazy how it worked out. But anyway,
let me talk about the Seahawks.
Oh yeah, sorry, Seahawks. Yes.
Defense looked bad. It looked bad. I'm scared, and there's no horses coming. There's no reinforcements coming in the defensive interior. That's all we got. And Cam Young's hurt. I was talking about this today on Twitter, and some people are freaking out about Jalen Carter looking good against whatever team they played.
Baltimore.
We were never ever going to take Jalen Carter. The one that hurts me, and it comes from the years of team building failures for the Seahawks. And you might have seen this tweet, but the mistake wasn't passing on Carter. It was passing on Jordan Davis last year. Now, Charles Cross is a great, great tackle. And I'm very happy we have him. And he's better than a super old Dwayne Brown or whatever. What hurts me is it's the Jamal trade. If it's not for the Jamal trade, we get Jordan Davis. It's time to cut Jamal. He's not playing until halfway through this year. He's getting $18 million. With $18 million, we could have gotten Greg Gaines. With a fraction of the $18 million.
Yeah.
And we could have kept Brian Neal. There you go. That's your safety for Jamal. He's just been the huge disappointment. We got to move on from him. Now let's talk about the bright sides, though. First of all, Jake Bobo. He's making the team. That touchdown catch, great double move, wide cross, wide open. It's just something about him and wide cross. Just run every time. O-line wise, I think Olu did pretty well. Now he played against worse opposition than Evan Brown. In my ideal world, while Anthony Bradford had a huge pancake block and he was pumping his chest against a Vikings linebacker, that was awesome. There were other times it looked a little slow, but honestly, I'd start Olu and I'd start Bradford just so they get NFL experience. They put in Tariq Woolen last year, who was as raw as sushi, and he worked out. And you could argue the same they put caution to the wind with starting 2 rookie tackles. No one does that. And it worked.
Yeah.
Olu's the Outland winner. Play him. Bradford, I'm okay with starting Evan Brown at right guard over Bradford. Other winners. Devin Bush looked good. I'm happy with Devin Bush as the opposite starting linebacker. Kobe Bryant at safety could be fun. He laid some wood. It might be a bit better for him. He was struggling a bit last year. The edge rushers look pretty good. Mafe and why does this always happen? Don't tell me. Derek Hall.
Okay, I was gonna say. There you go.
Mafe and Derek Hall looked really good. Mike Morris had a couple of snaps.
Yeah.
Mike Morris
he did.
He
He was big time on the first.
It's
the only
be
drive the defense looked good. in the
He's
first
gonna
half.
be a good developmental 5 tech. I really
Mhm.
think he will be. I think he, we clowned on him a bunch because he had a horrible combine. But I think that's pretty good value. And I like his mentality. Drew
Mhm.
Lock had a horrible pick. Horrible
He
pick.
did.
They
It
said it
got
was
bad at the
swatted.
line, to be fair.
I
It
don't think
was.
it was. I
I think
don't
it
think it,
was.
but even if it was,
Even
that
if it
was
was,
not
it
a
was still
good
behind him.
choice.
Yeah.
It was not a good
Yeah.
choice. And not even that it was behind him. It wasn't the person to throw to.
Yeah.
Who else? Zach Charbonnet. He's gotta lift his head, man.
Hmm.
But he was laying out poor
It was.
is it
It
Jalen
was.
Petrie? No,
I
that's
saw that. Yeah.
Texans.
Or not Jalen Petrie.
Lewis
Lucine. Yeah. The
twice,
other
twice.
DB. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not as optimistic as a lot of other Seahawks fans are after that defensive performance.
I feel like
We
it
started
gets
clapping
lost.
cheeks in the second half against their force, you know.
Yeah.
It's like,
Against Jaron
woo!
Hall.
He looked bad. He looked
He
really
did.
bad.
I
He
mean, he's
looked
a rookie.
horrible.
Most rookie quarterbacks look
I
bad.
remember I was texting you because I caught up in the third quarter. I was like, I don't even know who our third quarterback is. So
Holden
Ultimate
Allers.
Allers walks in. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? He looked not bad, but he was
Dude's a good runner. That's why I texted you, because I was a bit ahead, and you're like, "Who's Holton Allers?" And I was like, "Man, you're in for a roller coaster." And you're like, "Oh boy!" And I was like, "Hey, I didn't mean that in a bad way, man." I was like, he looked like Vanilla Vic out there.
He did. He did. My last winner, Michael Bennett on the broadcast is awesome. I love him as he's cool. All right, let's spin the wheel.
All right, let's get into it. So the second division, we will go game by game with will
AFC
be.
North. It's happening.
It'd be funny if it's the AFC North. I guess it's gonna be the AFC North.
Oh
All
my
right,
God.
all right. Well, hey, okay, that's appropriate. That's appropriate.
All right, this is your episode today.
This is my episode. Hey, last week was your episode. This week's my episode. Here we go. So we like last week. I actually, and I'll say this at the top, I think a little bit more highly of the Cleveland Browns than you do. And I don't mean that in a way that I think they're going to be a playoff team, but I think they're gonna scare
Stefanski's a good coach. He's a good coach.
We got him at 1-3 right now, and I don't disagree with any of the picks. Obviously, I helped make them, but there's going to be a lot of wins we pick out for the Browns today, and some that I think will probably surprise you. Obviously, we're going to talk back and forth on this.
Okay.
But, let's start with the Browns, because they had an interesting offseason. They did a lot.
They did.
To help themselves out in a big time way. Their defensive line was horrible last year, and they boosted it big time. Dalvin
By the
Tomlinson.
way, congrats to Joe Thomas.
Oh yes, of course. Also, dude's looking trim, man. He
lost it all. Good for him.
And Darrelle Revis found all of it, man. Dalvin Tomlinson,
solid,
great signing. This should actually be a loss. Jacoby Brissett left Cleveland. I don't know why it's on that side, but that's okay. We know what it is. Okoronkwo, good signing.
Hey, he's gonna get single teams against Myles Garrett. He can eat.
And the funny thing is, this doesn't even include Zadarius Smith, who this
might have been right
before.
And they don't have Josh Johnson on the losses either.
No, they do not.
But Juan Thornhill's an upgrade.
Yeah. Juan Thornhill, Rodney McLeod. I didn't even realize they brought in Rodney McLeod. They did a lot in free agency here.
They lost Taven Bryan.
They did lose Taven Bryan. I know, huge loss there. Kareem Hunt, still a free agent,
that's
still visiting teams.
Yeah,
that's a loss.
I think it is important for a big bell cow back to have someone who can spill to give them a little bit of a rest. I think that's pretty underratedly important.
Yeah, I think they're going to kind of lean on Jerome Ford.
Their draft. Big boy draft.
Yeah. The
two most bad weight players in the draft. They took both of them
back to back, man. Ika and
I heard DeJuan Jones was looking good though, which isn't.
He looked really good against the Jets. I didn't watch their game against Commanders, but he looked good against the Jets.
That's not a surprise. We both said he was going to be a good player if he could stay in shape.
Yeah. Cedric Tillman had some good plays too.
Yep. One of our favorites. I don't know if he's your favorite, but he's one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be a starter soon. He's looked good in both games. Absolute steal. He was one of my favorite. I was pound the table for DTR to be a developmental guy. Give him 3 years. He's going to be starting somewhere.
Oh yeah. I hope it's not in Cleveland though. I want them to be stuck with the Predator. But and that
Whippler's
contract,
great value at round 6. He's going to be a starting center.
Anthony Johnson in round 7 is a pick I liked. Even Grant Beau in round 7 is a pick I like. So
I think they did well for the draft capital they had.
Wait 1 second.
I don't know why they took Ika when they run a even front.
Wait, this is no okay. Something, yeah. Grant Beau was not drafted, and neither was Anthony Johnson. These guys were both drafted by the Packers. What are you doing?
What is
PFF doing? What is PFF doing? Trying to make us look like fools here, but luckily, I know
they said, "Look at this. Read this. This is why PFF is bad. Siaka Ika is the standout of their draft class.
He is not. No.
He's not. He has a 75 plus pass rush grades. He's not gonna He's not gonna be on the field on 3rd down.
Yeah, this is terrible. This is terrible. No,
this
come on,
PFF. PFF doesn't understand line play on both sides.
I actually do like PFF, and I like some of the analysts they have, like Trevor Sikkema, Connor Rogers.
I said my issue. That's what I meant.
Okay, fair enough. What
I always tell people is that you need to take PFF with a grain of salt.
That's fair. You can. It's almost like you use it as a tool. You don't use it as the end all be all.
It's not the answer. It's a way to get to it. They don't understand line play.
Yeah. So to not bag on PFF too much, because they did make me look like a fool just now. Anthony Johnson and Grant Beau are both Green Bay Packers. They are not Cleveland Browns. Everyone else here is Cleveland Brown, though. They got the rest of them. So solid draft all around. I liked all the guys they brought in.
I know we clown on them for taking Ika and Jones, but I don't get the fit for Ika in an even front.
I don't like Ika. I'm not a huge Ika guy.
He should be a true 0. He should not be in an even front. I don't get that.
Tillman, Jones, McGuire, DTR, even Mitchell right there. And Whipple. I think, honestly, other than Ika, I really liked all the picks they had.
Oh, yeah, me too. I was very high on DeJuan Jones if he can keep the weight off. He was at 380 at the combine, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what's his name? That's that USC guy territory.
Oh, shoot. Well, I know who you're talking about.
He was gigantic. He went to Rainier Beach.
Because
he's Lincoln Kennedy's son.
Really? Okay. I'm gonna remember that later.
He's his illegitimate son or something. What was his name? No, look this up. USC 2016. Zach Banner. I was at the USC UW game that they lost. That guy was ginormous. I have never seen a human being that big. He was a Steeler for a bit. They loved their 6'8" tackles for a bit.
Yeah, they did.
So that's when they had Villanueva too. He just was so big that he couldn't play in the NFL. Okay, we gotta get on.
All right, we gotta talk. So we gotta talk Cleveland Browns.
I defer to this one. I defer to you.
The Cleveland Browns will beat the Cincinnati Bengals in Week 1.
What's the Bengals Week 1s? How do those typically go?
It's not great. They are 1-3. No, 1-2 in the Burrow era, which granted 3 years sample size, not great, but
and then 1-4.
So
1-3 in the
Taylor era, because we lost Seattle. Yep.
It
none of them have been like blowouts by any means. Like they're all like close games. Honestly, like they could have beat Seattle that one Week 1 game in Seattle. They definitely could have, and that was the year they went 2-14. Then
that was the Burrow. You could have not gotten Burrow if it were for that.
That's true. So I'm glad we lost, but that's why I said walking out of the stadium that day, I was like, you know what? This is a win. I can feel it. And it did end up being a win because if we'd won one more game, we would have had the 2nd pick, which Washington probably would have traded to Miami, and that wouldn't have ended well for us. But point being, anyway, so that was Taylor's first year, then Burrow's first year. We played the Chargers, came down to the wire.
It was in LA?
Cincinnati. No, it was in Cincinnati. Came down to the wire. He had a touchdown in the front right corner of the end zone to AJ Green. Perfect placement. But they called Green for an OPI, which pushed the offense back. That was with like 3 seconds left on the clock. We send the kicker out, who at the time was Randy Bullock, wasn't Clutch McPherson yet. Misses it. The kick would have sent us to OT. He missed a probably 30-yard field goal that would have sent us to OT. So yeah, that was year 2. Year 3 of the Taylor regime was a little bit better. Played Minnesota at home. Was Jamar Chase's debut. I think he only caught the 1 touchdown, but I think he finished with like 5 catches for 120 something yards and a touchdown. Went off, ended up beating Minnesota in overtime. Which was a fun one. That was the year we went to the Super Bowl. And then last year was the Joe Burrow appendicitis game. We remember that because he had
totally
5 turnovers.
About that.
He had 4 interceptions and 5 turnovers against Pittsburgh, and we still would have won if our long snapper didn't get hurt, and our backup long snapper was our emergency long snapper, I should say, was our 3rd string tight end who screwed up not 1 but 2 long snaps on kicks that would have won the game.
You guys must be cursed on week 1, man.
It was a brutal game. So, and also, neither Joe Burrow nor Zach Taylor have ever won a game in Cleveland. Burrow is 1-3. 1-3. No, 1, 2. I'm doing the math live on the pod. 1-4 against the Browns in his career. Zach Taylor is 2-8. But only 1-6. No, 1-7 against Stefanski. So not.
You think it's the Stefanski power run system that does well against the Anarumo lighter box defense?
And that's a big part of it. Our defense just cannot stop the run against them. In fact, the only time that we've been able to beat them last year, the second game we played in Cincinnati, we held Nick Chubb to 2.2 yards rushing, or 2.2 yards per carry. I mean, 2.2 yards per, that would have been really impressive. But no, finally stopped Nick Chubb. And guess what? We won 23-10. Their offense looked horrible, forced Deshaun to throw the ball, and he looked uncomfortable out there. If they can do that consistently, sure. However, I'm going to pick the Browns to win this game because A, we suck against the Browns. B, it's in Cleveland, where, again, we suck. C, again, Stefanski power run game really seems to work against them. It's funny, they have more success than the Chiefs do. And D.
Week 1.
Burrow, week 1, but also just Burrow coming off the injury. He'll be fine. Like, again, he's already back throwing with 4 weeks to go until they play game.
He'll play.
Oh, no, I'm not concerned about him playing. It's just like he missed another training camp, 4 years in the league, and he hasn't had a full training camp yet. So, yeah.
Here's the question. Is Joe Burrow injury prone?
Funny enough, in the offseason, it's a hard question to answer. In the offseason, it does feel like he's a little bit cursed. He has not suffered an in-season injury other than the torn ACL in year 1, though. So, I mean, it's a little bit of a, kind of, for lack of a better word, kind of. But
I did want to add something, though, earlier. All offensive PI calls are bullshit calls.
Oh, I agree. Man.
Yeah.
Let him play, man. Let him play. But anyway, so I know I've talked about the Bengals a lot there, and we'll get to the Bengals in due time. But finishing up with the Browns here, week 2 at Pittsburgh. This is a game I've said I'm a little bit bullish on Pittsburgh this year, so I think the Steelers
I take Steelers on a win for that too.
Yeah. Here we go, week 3. Honestly, and this happened last year. Every single AFC North rivalry was a split last year. Every single one. So all 4 teams finished 3-3, 1-1 against the other 3 teams. I would not be shocked to see that happen.
That's why there's the coin toss, man.
Yep, exactly. So I would not be shocked to see that happen again. I don't think it will, but I wouldn't be shocked. Moving to week 3 here, Titans at Browns.
That's a fun matchup for some power
This one could be interesting. This one could be very interesting. I think the Titans are being a little bit slept on. I think a lot of people just kind of think they're going to fade into obscurity for some reason. Mostly because they just have
defensive
mediocre
pieces
quarterback.
are still there.
They do. Other than no, never mind. They did bring back. No, other than
they upgrade. I could say they upgraded with Aziz Al-Shair.
over David Long. Is it David Long that went to
Yeah.
Miami? He was
Yeah.
good, man. I don't know.
Aziz
know, man.
Al-Shaair is one of the most athletic linebackers I've ever seen. That guy's good.
David Long is a stud, though. I think
Yeah.
we'll call it. We'll call it. But they did add Sean Murphy Bunting, which I think will be an upgrade at corner.
Elijah Molden, he needs to play more.
I'm gonna go Browns here,
Okay.
just because they're at home, and I think again,
That's a
I think
coin
they're
toss
probably-
for me.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one. Ravens at Browns. Again, this is tough. These in-division games in the AFC North are going to be so hard. I'm probably leaning Browns just because it's at home. But man, I would not be surprised to see the Ravens win this game. This is why I wouldn't be surprised to see the Ravens sweep the Browns. But I am going to go Browns here.
Oh wow, starting 3-1.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. They got quite a couple losses down here. They started 3-1 last year too. And the year before that.
With Jacoby Brissett too.
That's true.
Honestly, Jacoby Brissett was a better fit for that offense than Deshaun Watson because he wanted game manager for that offense.
Yep. Exactly. If you
want Deshaun Watson, read option, RPOs, deep balls. Yeah.
Or the Bill O'Brien offense. Bill
O'Brien made it into a college offense when he was at Houston.
That's true. He did.
And he was smart about it. Bill O'Brien gets slept on as an offensive coach because of all his fuck ups that he did as a GM.
As a GM, he was terrible. As a head coach, and especially as an offense coordinator,
very good.
He's pretty good in Houston.
That's why I think the Patriots might take a bit of a step forward. Well, they have to take a step forward after the offensive coaches they had last year. Oh, that they didn't have.
Matt Patricia. Honestly.
They had defensive Matt Patricia and Joe Judge. Oh, God.
That's right. Gosh, man. I forgot he was on the offensive side. Week 7.
That's a fun one. I'm excited.
Anthony Richards. I think this is Anthony Richardson breakout game in the Indiana Knights jerseys. I'm calling it.
Okay.
I'm calling it. And as you see, I mean, a lot of home teams winning these Browns games. And I don't think that changes here. Like I said, I think Ravens and Browns. Sweep? No, this is Brown. We had Browns winning week 4.
Oh, okay.
So this is a split here. This is where, again, I think just pick the home team, I guess, in these divisional rounds where it's like I feel two evenly matched teams. It's tough.
This is going to be an interesting one.
There's 5 and 6.
December that's probably November.
Late November in Denver. Ooh, that altitude's going to be tough.
I'd take Denver there just because
I think so too.
I think they're going to be better than last year. Their offense, just through one game, because I watched a big chunk of that game actually. It looks much better fitted for Russ than it was last year. Deep drops, not the short dump offs to tight ends and fullbacks. It looks better schemed up. Sean Payton knows what he's doing.
Finally have in my opinion, finally have a away team win a Browns game here. Jags, I think, pull this one out. Even in Cleveland, this is going to be a close game. In Cleveland in December, it's going to be close. But I think the Jags just have a little bit more firepower. Another year of Trevor Lawrence development will work out well. The Bears, you might push back on this take a little bit, but I know I said on the last one, I think the Bears will be better than people think this year.
I
think this is the type
last week. I can agree with them. I
I think the Bears
to that weather.
They're used They're used to that weather. I think they can go in and beat Cleveland. Now, again, I'm not saying they're going to be a playoff team, but they're one of the teams that can go into Cleveland.
I think the
in
offense
December
is going to be much better. I think Eberflus has shown that he can do a lot with a little on defense. So I think the defense will be better. They are totally devoid of talent, though. I can't name it. I can't name a starter outside of Eddie Jackson. Oh, Kyler Gordon. There's two.
In the secondary, or just on defense in general?
On defense. I can't
Tremaine Edmonds, TJ Edwards.
Ooh, off-ball linebackers. Total difference.
I'll think of another one. Oh, Jaquan Brisker. Dude, Jaquan Brisker's good, man.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, there you go.
I can't think of any D linemen or edge defenders because they run even now. They run 4-3.
I don't think so. I don't think I could either. Browns and Texans.
I like Browns there. Yep. I take Jets there.
I agree.
I think Jets are making a playoff push.
I think so too. Plus, I mean, Rodgers, he can handle those late December games in cold weather. He's not going to get turned off by that.
He was born in the dark.
He was born in the dark, exactly. And the Jets are just used to the cold weather. I mean, not Jets.
They play in
Aaron
the
Rodgers
AFC
is used to
North.
cold weather, and they're fine. And here we go, bookend the season. The Bengals, they take the season sweep.
Now, how about this?
Or not the sweep, the split.
What about this?
Mm-hmm.
Bengals are resting starters that game.
Then yeah, I guess, but I don't think they will be because I think they're pushing for the 1 seed at that point. And they saw last year how valuable that 1 seed can be.
It'll be hard to, I don't think, because how competitive the AFC is going to be, I don't think there's going to be much resting starters in the AFC.
No, I don't think so. And honestly, looking at the record, it did not feel like the Browns went 6-11 here. Like, I felt like we're projecting a lot of wins for them early on, and then it just kind of fell off towards the end. 6-11, they could be a good 6-11 team just because that's a tough schedule.
That defense is pretty good.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good 6-11 team.
I think I would maybe give them a win against the Ravens, personally.
But this would be sweeping the Ravens if we did that.
No. I think you have the Ravens. Oh, never mind. I thought the Ravens were sweeping. Okay.
Oh no, we had them split.
I changed my mind.
We had 3-3 in the division. So
okay, yeah.
It's a good 6-11 team, man.
They're more of a 8-9, 7.
They feel like an 8-9 team that just happened to have a couple rough goes on the schedule
and a very hard division and conference.
Yep, agreed.
They have to play. They have to play one of the only two good divisions in the NFC as well.
Yep, exactly. So we'll go the Steelers next, who finished 3rd in the division last year. Already have them at 4-2.
And he threw more pickets. Oh, they're going to start off 4-0, huh?
Potentially. I think the Raiders are probably the one that they could slip up just because, West Coast trip.
I think if anything, they'd slip up against the Niners rather than the Raiders.
Oh, well, no, yeah. I think they're going to be projected to lose to the Niners, but I think this is also, West Coast to East Coast, East Coast to West Coast. So I could see them slipping up there against the Raiders. I don't think they will. I'm not going to project it, but I can see it.
I'm very bearish on the Raiders this year.
Looking at
Malo, they really solidified their O-line.
They did. They did a good job. Although apparently, and again, week 1 or preseason week 1 depth charts don't really mean too much, but Broderick Jones isn't even starting at left tackle.
I heard he looked good in practices though, so that's surprising.
But yeah,
Allen Robinson. Ooh.
Not scared of that in the year 2023.
I actually really liked Cole Holcomb. I really wanted it.
No, I think that's a good addition. Holcomb's a stud.
I really like Holcomb. I wanted him to come to Seattle and trade him for Barton.
Not a lot of losses. Cam Sutton's a loss, though, for sure.
And Terrell Edmonds. Those are 3 pretty big losses. Wormley was a solid D-line piece. Patrick Peterson, I don't know how much mileage is left in him. Leonard Roberts, solid player. Kellen Neal, not much mileage left there either.
Kind of a lot of solid and kind of singles and double there in free agency.
Ad is very good.
That's a big one, and that's probably the headliner there. In fact, it is. Going to the draft here.
Good draft class. I like the
good draft class. Yeah, Project Jones, Joe Porter, Keanu Benton, Darnell Washington, Dick Herbig. Apparently, it looks good right now. He looks good.
Dick Herbig?
No, Nick Herbig.
You said Dick.
Dick Herbig. Well, that's what we're calling him now. Big Dick Herbig. Yep. Big Dick Nick Herbig is looked good in Pittsburgh. Yeah. Corey Trice. I like this pick a lot. He's out for the season, unfortunately. So that's rough.
Benton. I was high on Benton. He's got some violent hands.
He does. No, Benton's gonna be a good player for him. He's gonna be able to learn behind Cam Hayward too.
He's a total Steelers interior D lineman. He's very Stephon to it.
Oh yeah. He's
they're never gonna change schemes, are they?
I don't need to, man. As long as Mike Tomlin's there, it works.
Past Tomlin. Well, it was there before Tomlin.
That's true. It was.
They've been 3-4. They were 3-4 with what's his name, and I think they were 3-4.
Cowher.
Yeah, Cowher, and I think they were 3-4 in the Steel Curtain.
Yeah, in Steel Curtain days, man. Yeah, because they had Mean Joe Green at nose tackle, man. So yeah, that makes sense. Steelers good offseason. I think that's part of the reason I'm feeling good about them last year. Plus, another year of development.
One of their biggest issues.
No doubt.
You
I
think
think
that
there's
their season really hinges on if Pickett takes a step forward. I'm
yeah,
kind of
and
sick of the George Pickens hype, though. That's getting kind of annoying.
it's a little bit. Yeah, he
He's
all the
not that
practice
good.
clips of everyone saying he's gonna, he looks. I mean, he's good. Don't get me wrong, he's good, but it's like people acting like he's like the next Odell Beckham, and he's like
Yeah.
like prime Odell, and it's like
No.
no, he's fit. I mean, he's freaking physical, man. He's not a bad player at all.
He's a
And
gang member.
he's a gang member exactly. He's got the black Air Forces on to every single
Yeah.
game,
Well, wasn't that the
but.
biggest issue with him at the draft was off the
Mhm.
field flags?
Yeah. So we'll see, man. He hasn't had that in Pittsburgh yet, to be fair. He did, however, get ejected from the second Cincinnati game last year
It's
for
a
punching a
divisional
player.
game. It happens.
He punched him on the onside kick, though, when the game was already over.
Oh, so it's long over.
Yeah, he punched him after the Bengals guy caught the onside kick, long over, and he just decided to start a fight because he was pissed they lost.
Does DK Metcalf stand for don't know you can't go back on the field after you got ejected? Classic Nick Ballore joke, DK.
There you go. There you go.
What game was that? Was the Packers game that DK tried to go back on the field after he got tossed. All right, let's get back to it.
Let's get to the schedule. Honestly,
I'm taking Steelers 4
the
now.
Steelers are going to win this game. They're also going to beat the Texans. They're also going to beat the Ravens.
Wow.
In
Is this
week
a
5.
repeat of 2020?
I think it might be a repeat of 2020. 7-0. Although they started better than 7-0 that year.
Jags are going to knock off. Jags are going to pull.
Jags are going to knock them off
and knock off the Steelers. An upstart Jags team going to Pittsburgh.
This game's gonna get flexed. This game's gonna get flexed into prime time because the Steeler Nation's gonna be going crazy, and the Jags are gonna beat them because the Jags are a good team.
We're really high on the Jags, huh? We're really high on them.
Can't wait till the AFC South episode. They
you
might
know what,
go.
Yeah, what episode I'm really excited for? I'm really excited for NFC South. That's gonna be a fun one.
That one's gonna be like who goes 8-9.
Yep.
Now
that's fun.
I think the Steelers fall back to reality a little bit here because hear me out.
Thursday night game after a loss. I like that.
They're gonna be
right there.
Lose to the Titans, lose to the Packers at home. Jordan Love is gonna kind of have a little bit of a chemistry with his receivers. I know. I think, but hey, mid-November.
I'll let you have it. I'll let you have it.
I think they can do it. Bengals win. Yeah, mini bye. In Cincinnati.
Patriots.
They do get the Cardinals.
First time seeing the Patriots.
They do beat the Steelers. Or no, they beat the Patriots.
I take them over the Colts.
Yeah, I think they beat the Colts too. I think the Bengals sweep the Steelers this year. I think they just match up really well against them. I think if there's a division,
this game's for a playoff berth right here. This Ravens, that's for a playoff.
Yeah, this is. I like when Steelers Ravens is a Week 18 game because it's a little more spicy. It's a little more spicy. Oh, yeah. But we're looking at it right now. Yeah. They win 10-7. That probably gets to 6 or 7 in the AFC. 9-8 might not do it.
You know what? I'm giving them the win. I like Pickett.
They sweep the Ravens. I could see it, man. They almost beat them in both games last year.
I like pressure heavy defense against Lamar.
Mm-hmm. And you also have to remember Lamar's going to be hurt at this point too. This is going to be Tyler.
Oh yeah, it's going to be Tyler. Yeah.
So we got 10-7 Steelers.
I like that. You know what?
I think that feels right.
They're going to be my second place. They're going to be. I think I'm feeling high on Pickett. I think he's got pieces.
Mm-hmm.
If not, what happened to Najee Harris, man? Why did he lose all his vision? And why did he become slow? I was a big Najee guy.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that isn't what happens to Bijan because he's going to be my running back. I guess.
Hey, I can't wait till Bijan gets hurt and I still have.
We still have Jahmyr Gibbs. What happens if it's the other way around?
No, not Jahmyr Gibbs.
Anthony Richardson.
No. The other running back. In Atlanta.
Oh,
Algier.
Ty Algier. Yeah.
Honestly, I might just trade you Algier so you can have that backup.
It's fair. Let's see what I'm loaded at backup running back though, so it'll have to be a little bit of a.
I'm pretty loaded at running back too. I got to get rid of somebody because I got Ken Walker, I got Cam Akers, I got some dudes. I'm trying to trade a running back and a quarterback with round 202 to get back in the first.
We're looking at the Baltimore Ravens now. the Ratbirds, they suck. No, I'm just kidding. They're a good team.
OBJ,
Well
how do we
coached
feel
team.
about that? How do we feel about that?
It's not a bad signing, but I'm also
How
not
much does he have
worried about it.
left?
I'm
How
not
much does he
worried
have
about
left?
I think and this should say something as a division rival. When he went to the Browns, I was like, well, we're screwed. When we went to the Ravens, I said, huh, and didn't really care all that much. He's got three ACL tears since 2017, 2 since 2020. It's
Too much, man.
and the past 2 were against the Bengals, so he's not going to make it out of week 2. Actually, now I think about it, he does not like playing against those striped helmets, man. It's not worked out for him in the past. But jokes aside, he'll be fine.
Nothing
I don't know.
interesting
It's
that
just
they
another
added.
like
They
old
didn't
veteran
add
receiver they
anything
brought in.
interesting, and they didn't. And their biggest loss was Ben Powers.
Ben Powers. Marcus Peters is also a pretty solid, pretty significant
He was
loss
solid
there.
to be signed somewhere.
No, he's in Vegas now. He's in Vegas now.
Ooh.
They just signed him. He's already corner 1 in Vegas, man. Apparently.
Over what's his name?
For David Long and
they don't got much.
Nate Hobbs.
Yeah.
I like Nate Hobbs.
I do like his story, but yeah, he's an undrafted free agent. There's only so much you can do. If only they had a high picked cornerback that was available.
Yeah.
You know what? What's Noah Igbenogany been up to? How's he been? That was a weird corner.
He's been
class,
up and
man.
down. He's been up and down.
That was a weird corner class. Other than Terrell.
Other than Terrell, yeah. Freaking Okuda and Henderson are already on their second teams. Terrell's been a stud. Igbenogany.
Damon Arnett's in jail.
Arnett's in jail.
Not in jail,
no. He's not in jail. But yeah, he's cut.
He's out of the league. Noah Igbenogany. Was Stokes in that class too?
No, Stokes was in the next year's class.
Okay.
Oh wait, no. No. Tyson Campbell was in the next year too.
Yeah.
Tyson Campbell's been a good player in Jacksonville.
Yeah. Because he was a sprinter and he's a man corner. He's going to be.
I'm trying to think what other corners were in that class. Probably think of some later, but yeah, Terrell's been by far the best one, I think.
That was a weird class.
Trying to think if I'm forgetting. Oh yeah, hold on. Let me look this up. Hold on. 2020 NFL draft. I'm just gonna do Control F for corners.
Speaking of other Dolphins picks, Austin Jackson's been a bust, right?
Oh yeah, he's been horrible. Horrible. Damon Arnett. Oh, Jeff Gladney.
Jeff Gladney. He's gone, right? Yeah, he's
dead.
Oh.
He's passed away.
Yeah.
Car accident. Not good.
That was sad.
That is really sad. Jalen, on a brighter note, Jalen Johnson, good player in Chicago.
Yep.
There's another Chicago. Oh, Trevon Diggs. There's one. Just got signed a big.
I was talking about first rounders though.
Okay, we're just talking first rounders. Christian Fulton, another good. Honestly, this second round was really good for corners between Jalen Johnson, Trevon Diggs, and Christian Fulton. Second round was pretty good.
Second round is a great round for actually good players.
Yeah, there you go.
Because the physical freaks go early.
Yeah. Nelson, yeah, I'm not inspired by the Ravens offseason. You know what's funny is they usually draft really well. Outside of Zay Flowers, I wasn't impressed by their draft either. It was kind of meh. Andrew Voorhees in the 7th is a fun flyer,
really
but he's not going to play year 1.
He's not playing for a year.
Yeah, so other than Zay Flowers, who looks really good, don't get me wrong. He looked great against Philly. None of these other picks are really screaming like.
What you up to, DaCosta? Come on, man.
Yeah,
might be time to tear it down in Baltimore.
Maybe we'll see, man. We'll see how much juice
Harbaugh's still got. Who's their biggest star?
Lamar.
I can't think of anyone on defense.
Oh, on defense, Roquan Smith.
Alpha linebacker. Woo.
Yeah, you can be the leader of the defense. Marlon Humphrey, Kyle Hamilton. Okay. They got some guys.
Has he panned out? Yes, Mr. Stiff himself.
Kyle Hamilton?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so. Kyle Hamilton's looked good.
What about Ofada Owe? I was high on him, but I don't think he's been a bit of a disappointment.
Yeah, he hasn't done a whole lot there. He's had some good games. He's had some good stretches, and he shows off his athleticism on a lot of games. But just like he hasn't really
it's hard
turned
to
into the dominant pass rusher that like his athleticism suggests he could be. Getting to their schedule though.
You know what's funny though? Speaking of people who have not shown up, Jake Moody missing a kick today.
Oh
That's
man, I
awesome.
saw that. Did he miss 2?
Yep.
Yeah, that's tough. That's
Another
tough when you're
another
a third round
Roberto
kicker.
Aguayo.
That's tough, man. That's tough. Ravens. But getting to their schedule, we already have them at 4-4, so perfectly balanced as all things should be, as another purple person would say.
Grimace.
Exactly. I mean, they have some winnable games here still left
They
to be
play the
projected.
AFC South.
They do play the AFC South, who we haven't projected a game against yet. So we'll go Texans
Win.
at Ravens. That's a win. I think they lose. I think they probably split Cincinnati. We
Yep.
split them last year if you don't include playoffs. So we'll do the project the split. They'll beat the
Another win
Colts
for me. Yeah.
in the Colts homecoming. Go to Tennessee or no, sorry,
I
go
think
to London to
Harbaugh
play Tennessee.
We'll have them ready to win because it's an away game. Yeah, they're not away. But
Well,
they
it's
are
in
away.
London. They're both away.
Yeah.
But,
I got Ravens there. This will be
I
a next
agree.
game, week 7. That's gonna be fun.
That's a
gonna be
fun
good.
one. That one could be kind of high flying, honestly.
Is that prime time?
No. It's
Oh
a 10
man,
a.m. game, man.
that
10
could be
a.m.
prime
Pacific time.
time.
It could be.
I'm gonna go Lions there.
I think so too, just because I think the Lions offense will be able to just outrun the
That
Ravens
Lions
a little
defense
bit.
is better than people think.
They did make some good additions too, which we'll talk about on the NFC North one.
You know something that I just remembered that someone who kind of redshirted last year
Who's
joined
that?
the Ravens this year.
Who's
David
that?
Ojabo.
That's right, David Achabo.
That's gonna be
That's
fun.
true.
That's gonna
That
be
is
fun.
true. They got some good solid pass rushers there.
Well,
Just
they
need to
don't
kind of
need
put
to
it
because they
together.
blitz all the time. So
Yeah. Yep.
their biggest thing
Split
is
the
they need their box players to be athletic enough to drop whenever.
Mm-hmm.
That's a
Agreed.
bit of a win streak there.
Yeah, they got 4 in a row here. So so they started. I mean, shoot, look at this. They start 1, 2, 3. Start 3 and 4, and then win 4 in a row.
I don't think they have the horses to keep up with the Chargers offense.
Especially, yeah, another east to west trip too. That is prime time though. So, that'd be a fun one though.
I
That'll be another
got
fun one.
Jags there as well because it's going to
Yeah.
be muggy.
And then I think they beat the Ravens, a little bit of a revenge for last
I like
year.
that. I like that. Where are we at right now? I think 9-7.
9-8. 9-8.
So that was
look
a
at
playoff
that.
game.
That literally is a playoff game.
I like that a lot.
Who doesn't
That's
love
awesome.
a Steelers Ravens playoff game, man? That's fun. That'd be a fun week 17 game right there.
I like that. I like this. I think because I do think Steelers are going to make the jump, and Ravens might have to think about tearing down after this year.
Mm-hmm.
I like
that. I mean, when your biggest free agent addition is a 30-plus-year-old receiver who has had
coming off
3
his
ACL
third
surgeries.
ACL surgery.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see what Todd Monken will do. But the thing is, Greg Roman was right. He was right.
I guess we'll see. Hey, look at that. There's a Chiefs guy on the Bengals offseason report. Oh, it's Orlando Brown Jr., the biggest offseason addition, both literally and figuratively. Well, I mean, I think this is counting who they brought back too.
Yeah. Scott, Irv Smith, good ads.
Yeah, no. I mean, all 4 of these guys are going to be starters.
Losing those safeties hurts.
That does, and we'll talk about that. We'll definitely talk about that because
those safeties were important in that defense because they played a lot of multiple coverages.
Yeah, no, Anarumo's defense needs them to have smart safeties, and for what it's worth,
Dax Hill, right?
That's Dax Hill. Dax Hill has had a year in the defense, and apparently he's looked good. Athleticism showing off, and that's really where he wins is with his athleticism. The guys they brought in though, Nick Scott and Jordan Battle. Jordan Battle, his scouting report was hey, he is not the most athletic guy, but he is smart as a gun.
That's a hard defense to play in for safeties. That's a really hard defense to play in.
They need smart guys, and Jordan Battle probably was the smartest safety in this year's draft as far as a guy who's going to come in, A, be a leader, B, learn the playbook quickly. He'll never be the most athletic guy. That's why you have Dax Hill on the other side to play free, and he can play strong. And then we're set. And they still have Nick Scott here to kind of be the veteran who can, be a little,
he was always a solid player for the Rams. Rams were always able to get really good safeties.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is funny. They were never big name guys, but they were always
They
always
always have.
contributed.
They just always have had this weird way of just replicating having good safeties, and it's really annoying.
Yep. Speaking of Rams safeties, Bengals tight ends. Every year, they're now on 3 years in a row where they've got a tight end entering
they should
his
draft and
contract
develop
season.
a solid guy like Drew Sample.
Hey, they brought him back. He's how did they not how's Drew Sample not on the free agent signings list? That's crazy. But no, they brought him back to be tight end 2 to Irv Smith. But now CJ Uzomah in 2021, Hayden Hurst in 2022, both those guys going into contract year, not really thought of super highly around the league, came in, had big years in Cincinnati, went on to get big contracts elsewhere.
I was always a fan of Hayden Hurst from his game, but also he was a guy with a great story. He
was.
Yeah, I always root for his success.
He was. And apparently Irv Smith looks fantastic in training camp, which
let's take a look at that draft. Let's take a look at that fantastic draft.
Yeah, so
that's a good draft right there.
It's a good draft too. I mean, it's a team that wants to try to, get back to the Super Bowl.
How's Miles Murphy been looking? I was never, that was the right time for him to go. That was the right time for him to be drafted.
I wouldn't say he's been a disappointment because, I mean, at the end of the day, like you weren't expecting a lot from him right now. He's going to be third on the depth chart. He's going to be a situational pass rusher year one. He is still learning though. You can tell, I mean, I've heard reports, you can tell he's raw and he's still learning and he still needs to develop a pass rush plan, which are a lot of things people said about him coming out. So he's still got work to do. The nice thing is he's learning behind Trey Hendrickson, who just signed an extension. So he'll be learning behind him for a couple of years. He's learning behind Sam Hubbard. Just guys, and Sam Hubbard kind of had the same issues coming out. Obviously didn't have the same draft.
Wasn't a physical freak.
Yeah, he wasn't as good of an athlete as Murphy was. So he's learning behind good guys. I think he's not going to be a big year one contributor like I think a couple of these guys will that I'm going to talk about here shortly. But I mean, I'm not going to say I'm disappointed with him right now just because we haven't seen a lot of early returns. If we're having the same conversation in 2 years, I'll be disappointed. But right now we're seeing where he develops. DJ Turner, though,
looks good.
I'm excited about DJ Turner, man. He looks really freaking good. So Chidobe Awuzie, great corner, going into a contract year. They needed and had some injury history. I don't think they think they're going to bring him back, even with how good he is, and they know he's good too. They drafted DJ Turner with the intention of eventually having a corner duo of Cam Taylor-Britt and DJ Turner. And boy, is it looking like it's going to work out because DJ Turner looks like a stud in the making. We were having this conversation earlier on Twitter.
Oh yeah,
DJ Turner is not as big as Tariq Woolen, but he is just as athletic. He's going to be really good for him. Now I'm not going to say he's going to be Tariq Woolen. Very few corners are, but he's going to be he's going to be a good player in Cincinnati. He'll probably be third on the depth chart for a year behind, again, Chidobe and Cam Taylor-Britt, but I'm really excited about the potential duo of Taylor-Britt and Turner going forward. So that pick right now looks like a very solid, could be an A+, which is what you want from a second round corner. Like we already talked about, 2020 had a lot of really good second round corners. So if DJ Turner can be that, I'm excited. Already talked about Jordan Battle a little bit. He's probably going to be the third safety behind Dax and Nick Scott, but he's coming in, he's learning the defense, and probably before long, I think he's probably going to be starting over Nick Scott. Not this year, but probably next year.
How many years is Nick Scott signed for?
3. He's signed for 3.
Oh wow.
So, yeah.
That's
Charlie
probably going
Jones,
to be a cap casualty right there.
He'll probably eventually be. He only signed for 3 years, $12 million too. So if they wanted to keep him, they could, honestly. This is a good signing at that price, honestly.
That's value. He must like Zach Taylor.
Yeah, everyone loves Zach Taylor, it feels like. Everyone says they love him, other than national media pundits, but I won't get into that. Charlie Jones, he was hurt last week. He's been playing hurt. Apparently hurt his shoulder in practice, and apparently it showed in the game against Green Bay. I didn't think he looked that bad, but it was, he's coming back from an injury. Chase Brown.
Let me add.
Go ahead.
Charlie Jones.
Charlie Brown.
I was a big Charlie Jones fan too coming out. And it's
Yeah.
kind of the same thing as Jake Bobo. Well, one, a Purdue receiver. They've been pretty
Yep.
hot coming out of the press lately. But like Jake Bobo, he's that perfect McVay system of like condensed receiver that can block and play receiver. So he's going to be a good long-term starter that when T. Higgins or
Tyler Boyd. Tyler Boyd's not going to be back. They might extend Higgins. They're not going to extend Boyd.
When Tyler Boyd is gone, if T. Higgins is gone, they're going to have dudes like Charlie Jones ready to step up and be a really solid player when they're getting favorable coverages when Jamar is getting double teamed.
Yep.
Chase Brown also super solid guy. Super solid.
Yeah. I like Chase Brown a lot. Apparently he hasn't been like amazing. Like he looks like a rookie running back who's having to come in and learn the offense. We've already talked about Yoshi a little bit. Andre Yoshevich already earned a nickname, which is awesome. Apparently looks like Yoshi? A stud. Yoshi, yeah. He had an awesome touchdown, or it was called back actually, but he had an awesome, should have been touchdown grab against Green Bay. And he's looked awesome in training camp. Brad Robbins, all I have to do is pull up this picture right here. That's all you need to know about him.
I can't see it.
Oh, you can't? Oh, wait,
hold on. There we are. Oh my God.
Dude, he's a stud, man. Just for the mustache alone. He's not that old, honestly. I mean, you can see another picture of him here where like you can tell he's like
so old.
He looks old in that picture, but like this is him like literally like 3 years ago. Like I think it's just the shaved head and the mustache.
He looks like a player from the 70s.
He does. He really does. I think he kind of chose his look. Yeah, this was him on National Signing Day. So he's grown a lot.
What college does to you? I have that same before and after though.
And then but apparently he's looked really good. He's gonna be their starting punter this year, and his hang time is insane, which is what their problem was last year. So they needed a good punter, and Brad Robbins has been that.
And then lastly, Matt Ariaza. He's been
Matt Ariaza.
I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole.
Nope, don't want to get canceled. And then finally DJ Ivey. Surprisingly, and I was not high on this pick. I was not high on this pick coming out. He's looked really good in training camp, in the game against the Packers. He's looked good, and not like starter level good. Not like I ever think he's going to be like a cute developmental guy who could be like the 5th or 6th corner and a good special
teams.
Yeah.
I think there's value. Probably Mario Cristobal holding him back.
Exactly. Like there's value in that, man. Yeah. There's value in that. In a 7th round corner that honestly, when he was picked, I didn't think was going to make the team. I've been really impressed by DJ Ivey. Also, it's funny. They when I know this pod's already going super long, so I won't make this story super long. But when Taylor Swift was in Cincinnati, they did a funny little bit that Orlando Brown went around the locker room and asked guys what their favorite Taylor Swift song was, right? And DJ Ivey said, I don't know any Taylor Swift songs. And Orlando Brown's like, that's okay. I don't know many either, but my favorite is Party in the USA. Like obviously joking because Miley Cyrus song. And DJ Ivey immediately said, oh yeah, I like that one too. I just didn't know that was her. And I was like, exposed, man. We got him.
Nice.
So that I cracked up laughing at that.
Okay.
So
we're starting them off 2-1.
2-1.
This is
and
a
I think
fun game coming up. I just remember seeing that clip of Ted Karras like flipping off the crowd last year.
Yep.
That was so funny.
Up yours, Tennessee. Up yours. That's not exactly what he said.
And it's at Tennessee again.
At Tennessee. Every Bengals Titans game is in Tennessee, man. The playoff game last year and this one, all in Tennessee. But you know what? I think this one has the same result as the other ones have had. I just think the Bengals are a more talented team. They match up well. The Titans' offensive line is not good, and I think the Bengals' pass rush will be better this year. D-Hop does scare me. I think between these, I guess Cooper Kupp. I was going to say D-Hop's probably the best receivers they have to play, and but that Cooper Kupp's there. But
both of them are washed.
Ryan Tannehill. I don't know if Ryan Tannehill's ever beat the Bengals. Hold on, let's do a quick. If he's beat him, it was like his
might have when he was a Dolphin.
I think he probably beat him once when he was a Dolphin. His rook. I'm gonna guess rookie Ryan Tannehill beat the Bengals, and he hasn't done it all the rest of his career. That's my guess now.
Who upset the 2012 Seahawks? Ryan Tannehill.
That is true. Six
That was an
games. Here
awful
we
game.
go. 2012. Oh, never mind. He has won 2 games. But he hasn't won one since 2013. So it's been a decade.
Yeah, that doesn't count. Isn't it crazy that Russ and Tannehill were the same draft class?
It is. And Andrew Luck and RG3 were in that draft class too. What a year, man.
Kirk.
And Kirk was in there too. That's right. And
Osweiler
Osweiler.
was.
Who would have thought
and Brandon Weeden.
Brandon Weeden. I knew you. Oh, and Nick Foles too. Nick Foles.
Yeah. Seahawks were going to take Kirk if they didn't get Russ.
That wouldn't have been a bad pick.
That's a fun what if.
Honestly, it's kind of funny to look back on that draft and
Does
be like,
Kirk start that year though? Does Kirk or Matt Flynn start? Here's
probably would have.
Here's no. Here's who I think starts. I think T-Jack starts.
Who knows, man? Yeah. What would have happened? Maybe
Doug Baldwin didn't like Russ. He liked T-Jack better. That's a very little known thing. Doug kind of hated Russ.
I've heard that.
Because T-Jack loved Doug and like fed him the ball. People think like that Russ made Doug. He was around for a little bit before.
There you go, man. So getting into the rest of
the
schedule here.
Oh, that's the DeMar Hamlin Bowl.
The DeMar Hamlin Bowl. I think the Bengals win this one. They just seem to really match up well against Buffalo right now. And obviously it's a new season, definitely a factor, but something they're doing is not clicking for the Bills defense. Like it's, I mean, they'll have Von Miller back, so it's a little bit different. Obviously, they'll have DeMar Hamlin back.
Have the Bills gotten better?
I don't know.
So. I
don't think so. Not on defense.
They lost Terrell Edmonds.
They might have gotten better on offense with the addition of Kincaid, but not on defense. And that was what killed them against Cincinnati.
They need a running game.
They do.
And
maybe
Hines is out for the year too.
Hines is out for the year. They brought in Damian Harris to replace Devin Singletary.
They got to sign Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, do the brother. Isn't
his brother? Isn't James?
Yeah, James Cook. James Cook's the starter right now. He's listed as a starter right now.
Yeah, they should bring in Dalvin Cook.
Yeah,
they should. I love Vikings reunion with Stephon.
Yeah, there you go. That'd be fun.
All right, Bengals win against the Texans. Mark that.
Yeah, Bengals win against the Texans.
They Monday Night Football
lose to the Jags. They do.
I think that's the Jags. We have not given the Jags a loss yet.
Did they go? Yeah, we haven't gone 5-0 or 4-0 against the AFC North and 5.
We're high on them.
One. It's the 5th one. Probably, yeah, the Niners. Look at that. We'll be excited.
I think we're a little too high on them.
We can adjust.
I think they're going to struggle later. I think they're going to struggle a little bit, but we'll see.
I think we got 3 more games left for the Bengals. I think they beat the Colts, beat the Vikings, lose to the Chiefs, which I know.
Burrowhead? At Burrowhead? I told you with all of the I was saying the only reason why I think that they're going to lose is because of all the Burrowhead talk. That's the only reason. It wasn't just the Bengals though. The media was hyping that up a lot too. But the fact that it was all that Burrowhead stuff.
I think the media made it a bigger thing than the Bengals wanted it to. Now,
players did talk about they did talk a little too much about Burrowhead, the players themselves. They probably should have kept that to themselves, It's tough. It was funny. I would have done it if I was a player. It was really funny. But the media really hyped it up. But I think
the media
made it really hard for the Chiefs to lose.
Yeah. So, and they still almost pulled it out, man. They were right there, man. If it weren't for
Joseph Osai, a horrible draft pick, I was really down on him.
Joseph Osai is good, man. Joseph Osai is a good player, man.
He's got a weird body type, man.
And it's worked out. He was actually balling. Okay, everyone will obviously point out how that game ended for Joseph Osai. The 59 minutes that preceded that, he played probably the best game of his career. He looked great. But people won't remember that. And I actually feel kind of bad for him because of that. Because you got to remember, these guys are humans at the end of the day. Apparently, he was getting a lot of unsavory things on Twitter and Instagram, and he doesn't serve.
Do not ever message a player hate or message a player at all.
No.
Keep that
unless you want to sign jersey.
Keep that wall. Keep that image of them being in a different world than you. I like doing that. Now, unless you're like trying to like reach out to a player for something cool or something like that, Never spewed.
Yeah,
hate
maybe
at
you're
anyone.
reaching out for like a charity thing, or maybe it's like you have a,
Yeah,
like my
but
little brother's
to
the biggest
spew
Bengals
hate,
fan in the world. Yeah, if you're reaching out, it's
never,
just no,
ever,
it's not okay.
ever do that. It's horrible. Okay, we have predicted them
So,
to go 12-5. I like that.
yep, 4-2 in the division, 8-4 in the conference. Yeah, this looks about right. 4-4 against winning team. Obviously, that, again, those won't really matter until we get a little bit more.
Yeah.
But the Bengals are going to the playoffs. We can guarantee that as a division champion here at 12-5.
I like how we sorted this out.
I think
I
this is
think
about how the AFC North probably will fall at the end of the day. And I think the
Steelers
NFC
take a
West
step
too.
forward. Steelers take a step forward. Ravens step back. Browns and mediocrity. A good 6-win team. A good 6-win team.
Yeah, they just have a tough schedule.
Does their draft pick still belong to the Texans though?
Their draft pick belongs to the Texans, and the Texans draft pick belongs to the Cardinals. So I do not know what their GM was thinking.
Man. That was a
is it still
trade.
Caserio there? It's still Caserio, right?
Caserio's the Texans GM.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think it is the Texans GM. What was he thinking when he made that trade? Just trade him the Browns' first pick, unless he honestly believes the Houston Texans are going to be better than the Cleveland Browns next year. Horrible trade. If he does honestly believe that, and maybe he does, maybe he's calling a shot a little bit. But if they don't, then he looks like an idiot.
I don't know if the Cardinals would have taken that pick though.
Maybe the Cardinals were like, hey, that's true. Maybe the Cardinals
I'm gonna defend that pick or that trade because they got two of the best players in the draft.
No, they did. I don't mind like the players.
That's what you use draft capital for,
It's just gonna be tough if that pick ends up being like second or third overall. But
I think it's gonna be around fifth. I think it's fifth is where it's gonna be. Like all of the Cardinals fans are being so annoying. I talked about this last episode. Oh, we're getting the first and second pick. We're getting Caleb and Marvin Harrison Jr.'s. No, you're not. You're gonna get one of the two.
You're gonna get one. You're gonna get whichever one you want more because you're gonna have the first overall pick.
That's a fun question though. That's a fun question. Keep Kyler. If I would take Caleb. Rookie deal.
Oh yeah. There's no way. Okay, wait, hear me out. Okay, wait, hear me out. Scenario here. Kyler comes back around week 10 and he looks really good and he's motivated, but they just keep losing.
Sell high.
Just because they just don't have a lot of talent on the team. They have the first and say the third overall pick. They got third overall from Houston. You trade that first overall pick to a team that wants Caleb and pick Marvin Harrison at 3. Do you risk him even being there at 3? He might go at 2.
Yeah, no,
that's a tough question to answer.
One.
Honestly,
Here's what I would do. I would sell Kyler high. I would take Caleb.
That's true. Just build, and you could get another first. You could have 3.
If Marvin Harrison Jr. is not there at 3, either take the best player you see there, probably Jared Verse, which you skipped out on Will Anderson last year. So that's a good way to build your line. Or you sell that to someone who really wants Drake May, and you're gonna get a bag for that if the Texans took Marvin Harrison Jr.
You know what I'm excited to see after we've done all this? I believe there's a way that we can see draft position. Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
Where did we do that? I know you used to be able to do this somewhere. Maybe it's. No, that's not it.
Conference
Hold
room?
on. No. There used to be. We'll find it. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out when we get there. There's no point.
I'll do it manually, honestly.
That's true. Oh, here we go. I mean, we can do AFC and NFC combined and just work from the bottom up. I can plug it in
pretty easily. Yeah.
Yeah. True,
okay, but I don't know if we noticed this, but Bengals going 9-0 at home at the Jungle.
Yeah. They almost went 9-0 or 8-0 at home last year. Except they again long snapper fiasco against Pittsburgh and DeMar Hamlin canceling a game. So they ended up going 6-1, but they were 2 freak things away from going 8-0. So
all right. So
I could see it.
There was something I mentioned earlier that I want to continue this thought a little bit.
Yes.
Okay. And it was this is Seahawks related. This is I think we're done with the AFC. So if you want, I'll give you the last word on the AFC North, and then I'll go on the soapbox for a little bit.
Okay, here we go. I think the AFC North, this is probably how I think it finishes out. I think it's how I'd see this team stacking up. I think I'm probably a little bit higher on the Ravens than we have them right here. But I think them and the Steelers are probably in the same range. And like we talked about, like maybe they beat Pittsburgh week 18 and that flips, or maybe they don't and it doesn't flip. Like either way, they're going to be both right there. Again, Cleveland, if they go 6-11, like that's a good 6-11 team. They could easily beat a team like Chicago.
I'd flip that Chicago and Jags game. I could see that both those happening.
Yeah, and then we're looking at 8-9. It doesn't get them into the playoffs, but it makes a difference. So yeah, I mean, I think they're a good really good 6-11 team that could easily be 8-9, 9-8 if maybe like the Indianapolis game, another one that could probably flip. There are ways here to see how 6-11 team could easily be a 9-8 team. But I think this is the order the AFC North will finish, and that's what we're going for. So, anyways, that's it for my AFC North spiel. Best division football.
Here's the little soapbox I want to go up on.
Okay, go ahead.
It was about that the big mistake was passing on Jordan Davis, not Jalen Carter. And here's what I was thinking. What I really categorize the late Russ years with are poor team building plus desperate moves to fix it that are only a patch that doesn't even really work. The thing about if you want to have a solid interior D line today, you need to have started 3 years ago, because it takes a long. I feel like interior D line takes the longest out of any position to get to a NFL level. Maybe other than honestly, interior line is where you put the bad ones. I think interior D line with how strong you got to get them for all those double teams, it takes like 2 to 3 years. It took Quinnen Williams 3 years. It took Christian Wilkins 3 years. It takes dudes a while. So this is several years of total team building failure by the Seahawks of having this thin of a defensive line. There is nobody right now. Cam Young's out. Like Jaron Reed at a true zero. That's not going to work. Draymond Jones is a 3-tech. It's just you need to start developing those defensive line interior guys years out. And there's no one on the market. Teams don't let those guys go. And guess what? It's only going to get harder to get those guys in the draft, because the biggest rarity in college football right now. Who's getting the biggest bags in NIL right now? It's big fat interior defensive linemen, because their development absolutely died during COVID at the high school level. Absolutely died. So there's not dudes coming out right now in the draft. The reinforcements aren't coming without a pretty penny being spent for them. That's why Barry Alexander got like a penthouse apartment and millions of dollars to go to USC when he was a pretty mid defensive lineman at Georgia. There's not defensive linemen out there. So, Seahawks, I don't know what the hell you're doing.
I like your point there. I'm going to say a couple names here. Mason Smith, Michael Hall Jr., Jerzon Newton. Jerzon? I don't know how to say it.
I don't know.
Leonard Taylor, Ruke, or Horo? I don't know.
I love how there's more. I like how there's more and more African names in football. I love it.
Next year's draft is good for interior D linemen. So while you're standing on this soapbox, just know there's someone coming to knock you off.
I think we're gonna see that effect a lot more in the next 2-3 years.
Yeah, I think you're right. It comes and goes.
Is really coming. I think it's going to take a while to get the defensive line back to where it was pre-COVID. I think that's the position that really got impacted. That and quarterback but that's rebounded pretty hard. I feel like defensive line, you couldn't get those kids getting stronger, getting bigger for a good while. And it's just, we should have been drafting a defensive lineman every year for the past 3, and we've drafted like 1. If you want to talk about true defensive interior lineman, that's Cam Young. I wanted to draft Lekai Fotu. I wanted to draft Raekwon Davis. And those guys have all had mid-careers, but guess what? They plug holes in the run game.
That they do. They do.
We're spending like 30 million, 40 million on safeties this year. It's absurd because you're paying Jamal 18. I think you're paying Quandre 12, and then you're paying Love like a 8. We're paying so much in safety right now. That's like the one Pete Carroll. You can make anyone a good safety. Come on.
Yeah.
But two, nobody's paying safeties. Jamal's a total outlier in the safety market. A better safety, Jesse Bates, got paid less
Oh yeah.
by a worse team. Oh man.
We'll
It's
see,
failure
man.
in
We'll
team
see when
building.
we get to the NFC South episode. I think that's one we're both. I think we disagree heavily on the NFC South. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we have reverse orders for the teams there.
I think
when we do
Falcons
get
will
to
take
it.
a step forward. I think Falcons.
Okay, okay, good. Okay. So that's the conversation then.
Their
I think
quarterback
I'm more on the
situation is the
Saints.
worst part.
You're
They're going to
right.
be handing it off, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, they're gonna be handing it off to future fantasy champion.
They're bringing
Bijan
back the
Robinson.
wishbone. They're bringing back the wishbone.
Dude, yeah, you
Algier at
got
fullback.
Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier in the same backfield.
And then Patterson. Is Patterson still a Falcon?
Yeah, he is. No, literally,
Okay,
yeah. Put
So-
3 running backs back there,
So
man.
you got. I put Algier at fullback, and then Bijan and Patterson at the halfbacks. And then when you put that flex bone, Cordero Patterson on those rocket tosses, I think that'd be pretty fun to watch.
Dude, just make every single play quadruple option. Have Bijan standing behind Ritter, Cordero on one side, Algier on the other. Who knows what's gonna happen, man? Maybe don't even design a play. Maybe just kind of see where the defense takes you. Hand the ball to whoever looks like
I
they
could
want
draw
it more.
something up for you. I could draw something up for you for that with my old
Oh,
read
yeah.
option roots. It would probably have a nice, sexy little shoulder flash for that backside running back. Ooh.
Mhm.
I
I'm gonna
was
do some
getting
math
I
here.
was getting into it. Dan Casey on Twitter, you've been fucking up lately, okay? You were talking about a Jamie Chadwell run. That was really bad pitch relation. That was not 4-1. And Zach Johnson agreed with me, former running back.
There you go.
Former read option running back. Oh gosh. That was a shitty system. I would have loved to run Jamie Chadwell's system though. That's a fun offense. Sucks that he's at Liberty University, probably like they're more, I think their morality code's worse than BYU's, other than marriage.
Yeah.
Like they don't have co-ed dances.
Oh, that's rough.
They have dances. Who has dances in college? But still,
I was gonna say, what? We never.
You know what? I was really bummed that Chadwell didn't go to Georgia Tech. That would have been match made in heaven.
Yeah, that would have been fun, man.
They need to bring back the wishbone.
That's right. The Falcons, ever since Arthur Smith got there, they've only drafted offensive weapons in the first round, and it's all been top 8 picks: Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Bijan Robinson, and they got Cordero Patterson, Ty Algier.
That Drake London pick is still a head scratcher to me.
Especially the play like a lot of those first round, like Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, Jahan Dotson, even.
And we were laughing about the Jahan Dotson pick too.
He looked good, man.
He did.
No, granted, I don't know if I still would have taken him at 16 overall, but he looked good.
Yeah, you should.
Chris Olave, did I say Chris Olave? Yeah, Olave.
Olave had a great rookie year.
Yeah, it was so funny. Why did the Commanders trade down from 12 to 16 with the Saints just to end up picking a lesser receiver?
I know.
I mean, the resources they get pay off that much. I'd have to look at
for
it.
Fourth pick for 4 spots. No, because trading up's been cheap in the past.
Imagine a receiver core of Terry and Olave. That would be enticing.
I'm so excited to see more JSN.
Yeah,
because like he got a slant and that like one Drew Locks totally sealed it and he tipped it so it wasn't a pick.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, one more fun thing to report from Seahawks practice. Something I've never seen in the Pete Carroll era. I've never seen before. The Seahawks ran a jailbreak screen to Jackson Smith and Jigba.
I did see that. That was fun. I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a video of one a couple days ago, but I saw it in person. I saw them run a jailbreak screen. I have never seen that in the Pete Carroll era. For some reason, we just can't run screens of any kind. Like in part of the preseason game I watched, like we tried to do a screen to Zach Charbonnet, got totally blown up like usual. I don't know what it is. If there's like some trash can getting banged on or something that's like screen. He just, no matter the offensive coordinator,
It's
we
it's
can't
Russ
throw a
on the it's
screen.
Russ on this side, and he's like telling the defense, say run or pass or screen, say run pass or screen. He's sabotaging the Seahawks. He's on the side.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what it is, man, but we'll see. I just want to see. We're not going to see much of him before the season starts, but I think he's going to have plenty of room to work with in the slot. All right.
Yep.
I
All right.
leave you the last word, my friend.
Who day? No, I think the predictions are coming along very strong, and we'll be back tomorrow night. We will be back tomorrow night because we had to make up for last Friday, late night at Chase Field.
I don't know if we will be back tomorrow night.
Won't we be? Well,
No,
not
fantasy
won't
draft.
Be? No, I'm saying the fantasy draft's at 7. I don't think that's going to take 2 hours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're
it's
good.
3
We're
rounds.
Good.
It'll take like 30 minutes. Yeah, we'll be
exactly.
on. We will be on tomorrow.
Oh yes, tomorrow, Wednesday, and Friday. Got 3 episodes this week. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Shoot, by the time we're done with this week, we'll be 5 divisions in. We'll have 1 week to go. We'll be finishing up right around when the preseason's wrapped up, and then we'll have college football to talk about. Exciting times, my friend. Exciting times.
We're so close.
We are very close. We are, let's see, week 0 is the Saturday after next. And we got some good teams playing on week 0.
Notre Dame, Navy in Ireland. That's going to be awesome.
Oh,
I wonder if they're going to do the free beer if the Wi-Fi goes out again.
Oh, they better, man. They've got a standard to live up to now. Awesome.
Notre Dame will lose in Ireland. That is my bold prediction.
I don't know about that.
Horrible. It's total just for the meme of like the time they
fighting
actually
Irish.
Ireland, they're going to lose. Here we go.
Fighting Irish, not putting up a fight in Ireland. That'd be kind of funny.
Notre Dame.
Yeah, write it down like that. Notre Dame doesn't put up a fight in Ireland.
Doesn't put up fight. It would be rough if they lose to Navy. Ugh.
That would be an awful start to the year. I'll be looking forward to seeing how the 8 people comes out. I want to see where the Huskies end up.
We better be top 10. We are a top 10.
Weren't they 7 in the coaches poll?
They were 11 in the coaches
poll. They were 11. Okay, I was thinking
absurd.
Something else. That's crazy.
Absurd. I saw 7 in the different poll as well, but 11 in the coaches poll was bullshit. I remember the trolling that Kalen DeBoer did at the end of last year with where he was ranking Oregon. He was putting them at like 19. He was putting Oregon way lower than everybody else. It was, hey, that's part of it. Hey, that's awesome. I love you, Coach DeBoer. I love how much I love that little belly that's been working on since Fresno State days. Hey, the teriyaki good. Food's good up here.
Yeah, he's good. Yeah. Awesome. Well, like I said, we will be back tomorrow night to talk about another division. Which division? Stay tuned to find out. But this has been
my prediction. It's going to be AFC East. The division.
The AFC East is going to be a fun one. Honestly, both
like
Eastern
on
divisions,
my level of funness, it's pretty low right now.
Really?
Yeah.
I have to disagree. I mean,
AFC,
we got 4
AFC
potential
South,
playoff teams.
AFC South, AFC North or NFC North. I'm fun.
Honestly, all the NFC divisions,
West.
All the NFC divisions are going to be fun just because they're all chaos.
Yeah.
I'd say the AFC South is probably the least interesting.
I
think
fair.
AFC South is probably
really
the only
excited
one
to see how the Jags are going to do, though. I'm excited to see how we pick them. All right, fine.
We have to eventually start
AFC East is the worst. I'll say that. Yeah, we got to give them some losses. We're falling on the hype train too much, I think.
I don't know. I think all these games are winnable. Sweeping the AFC North would be pretty big, though. I won't lie.
I think I might want to change that Browns game.
We'll see when we get there. We'll see when we get there. How about that?
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying right now. I'm saying when we get there.
But
I might change my mind. All right. Thanks for watching, guys.
Yes. West Coast Draft Pod. Be back tomorrow night.